Hello, my name is Jeff Gimiolo, and I'm going to talk about alcoholism today. Largely, the call was put on my heart to actually talk about it and how I ceased drinking or how I changed why I drink. The reason is right now I don't drink. I have not drinking in 5-6 years. Let me rephrase that. I had a beer once every 3 or 4 months when I was out. That's about it. Not like I drink anymore. It's not like I used to. I actually come from a family of my mother's side had alcoholism. My father's side, biological, had alcoholism. My adopted had alcoholism. As I said, everyone, it was convergence of 3 lines of alcoholism. So it was no shocker that at a young age I was drinking with grandpa in the garage. Not a shock. Wasn't a shock that I went in the military and was bored and drank. What else are you going to do in the military? Drink. If you're not out in the field, you drink. So largely the reasons why I drank were I was bored. That was the military. When I got out of the military, I got married. And I didn't actually drink there until the later years because of a lot of problems in our relationship. So problems started creeping in and we started drinking and we started fighting. Not a shocker. After I left her, for the most part, I drank every day, religiously, 24 pack a night, 18 to 24 pack a night. I had a stressful job in a place I was living alone. It was me, and I think I inherited a cat from my brother's divorce. That was it. So we would drink. I would drink. That's all I would do. When I mean drink a lot. To the point where I would pass out and start to cycle again the next day. I made sure it did not affect my job. However, I did need the alcohol to sleep because I had a lot on my mind at the time. So if any place I was an alcoholic, that was it. Then a woman came in my life, Jessica, and she was a drinker. I was a drinker. So once a week, twice a week, she would come over and we would drink at my place, like hard stuff, like it was usually rum, sometimes vodka. And we would drink an entire fifth without an issue to the point where I actually would get 2 at a time. And that was that we would drink the whole thing. And the good news is we watched movies too. But at the same time, I was kind of slappy silly at that point. So I wasn't used to drinking that kind of thing. And as I said, she did not live with me or anything at that time. She just came over twice a week. Eventually, our relationship shifted, and because of issues with the apartment, we moved to a new apartment. I moved to a new apartment, and she moved with me, which meant now we drank 4 times a week, which was kind of bad. But at the same time, something magical happened. She used to work at 11 o'clock p.m. She used to get off work at 11 p.m. at night. I get off work at 6. So literally, I didn't want to drink without her, so I jump on my computer and do things. I didn't want to drink and drive or anything, so just wait for her. And usually when I went and picked her up, she wanted to drink after that. So bad news is we're drinking until 3 a.m, but what was interesting about that from after when I got home from work until I went and picked her up, because she didn't drive. Literally, it was a magical period that I didn't even know about. As a couple days ago, I actually tried to figure out how did this happen, this whole step, because I don't know. So I had to sit there and backtrack the whole thing, and this is what I'm telling you right now. Literally, I replaced my boredom with you could call it a hobby, I guess. Some people play video games, some people do whatever. I computer program. I also do it professionally. So it's in different things, doing different things. And I said, I got a passion for it and I love doing it. So I got into the habit of, well, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink this while I'm waiting, for 11 o'clock to go pick her up. And literally, that went on for about 6 months or so at that rate, doing that. And then something even more magical happened. A friend of hers that she used to go out with and drink with wanted to come, they kind of broke up for a little bit. They wanted to get back together, and every Friday they want to go out and go over to his place and drink. Like, okay, whatever. You were friends. Okay. So literally, I actually just stopped drinking at that point because I was designated driver. So when she would call, after drinking, I would go pick her up and whatever. And it's like, then I wouldn't drink because she's already drunk. So it's kind of interesting that I just got more computer time in. And I just kept getting more and more computer time in. And that consumed so much of it that I built an entire massive network around what I learned while I wasn't drinking. And this is all practical experience you can use elsewhere. But it's just an example of the smallest thing that could change and how it could impact you when you're drinking. I never would have thought that getting a hobby would do that because, you see people that go play video games and they drink. They go to football games and they drink. But I just happened to pick one that I liked and I was good at, and oddly enough, it also pays money. So I've been in this profession for years, so it always pays money. But what's even more ironic is that at that point, the only time we would drink, me and her, okay, or I should say me, is when I wanted to talk to her because there was issues with she would not talk to me unless she had a couple drinks in her. I guess bravery, I guess. So we would get sloshed at that point just so I could talk to her because she wouldn't really want to talk. Don't get me wrong, the relationship was already at that point, I think pretty much toxic at that point. But it was, I wouldn't say it was toxic. It was not as good as it could have been. But one thing that was interesting is when I drank to intoxication, it was like kind of bad. And that's also when our relationship broke up. The last time we drank together is the last time that's when our relationship broke up. And largely after that, I really didn't drink that much. I had a whole big 1/5 of vodka still left at the house. I mixed it with some juice. And over the next 2 weeks, I had 1 glass a day. And in the process of packing my apartment because I am leaving to move to another city where it's closer to work. I also decided I was going to get a dog. So it's one of those, okay, let's just clean this apartment up. I'm getting ready to move. And the terrible thing, I was on a waiting list first for almost 4 months before they could get me in there where I wanted to be. So I had 4 months to pack up my apartment and get ready to go. Luckily enough, it worked out. I did get my dog. And what brought me to sobriety at this point is because I did buy some more liquor. It was like, oh, some friends may come over, blah, blah, blah. Not like I drank the stuff. I did buy some wine coolers. Like, hey, I'm going to have some wine coolers. Why not? I go, but I really didn't drink any of that at all. Zero. I had whole full bottles. Whiskey, rye, vodka, you name it, I've had. Even wine. Because, need to entertain. I go, well, I didn't entertain anybody, so I ended up giving them away. But the whole reason why I didn't actually drink was my dog. So when I got my dog, I was on the second floor, and I could see me having a couple drinks and rolling down the stairs, and then I'd have to walk the dog with crutches, which I've seen a lady do before. I live alone, so thought about it, well, it's for me and it's for my dog. So I quit drinking because it's better for myself and my dog. Oddly enough, even if I got someone else in the house right now that loved dogs and want to take care of her, I still pretty much wouldn't drink. It would be more of a social drinking. That's what the direction I was heading was. When I go out, let me have a beer. If I want to have a beer, have a beer. That's it. To the point where if I have anything more than a beer, I feel it. I have absolutely no tolerance at all. So it's good because I used to be able to drink a fifth and still be able to drive. So, but as I said, that is one way you may want to look into how you want to maybe look at your alcoholism, is that it can be controlled. I said, every now and again, I think I might want a beer. I go, but I don't go get one. It's kind of like cigarettes. Cigarettes are kind of another interesting thing because I don't smoke anymore either. And that only under heavy stress do you want a cigarette. It's because in the past, cigarettes were tied to that. But I quit years ago. I quit about, 4 years ago? And by the way, I was smoking for 35 years. So I was smoking as a teenager. It was almost cool back then. And my parents smoked, so. But hopefully this helps you. Just remember that I had to look through this because I don't remember how I got to where I was. Hence the reason why I had to go through and say, okay, how did I get here? Because I don't know. I just magically ended up there. And it's like, no, I didn't really magically end up there. It's a certain circumstances happened. And I do believe that if I would have made more conscious choices in that direction, it would have been better. However, my spirit team helped me along my merry way. So that's all I have for you today. Have a great day.